Smart mouth. Some say it's comic genius. Others just blame it on the vodka. But Chelsea, you join me now. I want to start with an apology.
For what?
Well, you know what? It was the last time I booked you to come on the show. I was very excited about this. You have to believe me. And then at about 4 in the afternoon, we cancelled you for Charlie Sheen. How did you feel about that?
How did you feel about that?
Guilty. I felt terrible.
Well, I understand being in the position that you're in, that you need to have Charlie Sheen is great news, and for you to have him on the show and exploit him the way you did, I thought was marvelous. But I don't blame you. I understand how the
Would you have done
works.
that?
I wouldn't have. I don't know that I would have bumped you for. No, I don't bump people. But I have a different format than you. I understand. This is newsworthy.
You never bump people. I mean, if you booked me, for example, and literally out of the blue, President Obama says, I want to come on tonight. I can only do tonight. Would you not bump me?
For President Obama?
Yes.
No, I don't think I would. I don't have...
You turned down the president for me?
Well, this isn't a real circumstance that you're talking
about.
Well, I
like the way you're thinking.
This is a fantasy world that you're living in, obviously. No, maybe I would for President Obama, but, you know...
Did you watch the Charlie Sheen interview?
With you?
That you've been so cruelly bounced for.
I missed that one, but I did see him being interviewed a lot, so I figured it was... But I saw clips of it. I did see clips of it, and I read excerpts from it.
What do you think of him?
What, of Charlie Sheen?
Yeah, what do you think of the whole crazy Sheen circus?
I think he's a pretty much of a hot mess. I mean, he's a disaster, but good for him.
Aren't you a bit of a hot mess?
No, I have my act together in a big way. I got here on time, didn't I?
You did.
I
did.
did.
To be fair.
And you have a vodka waiting for me. You think I'm some sort of floozy here.
I'm not saying I know too much about you, but obviously Ricky Gervais had his beer, and we just thought, you know...
I know, it's
when
weird.
in Rome.
It's weird that I just stopped drinking earlier today. It's so coincidental.
I like vodka.
I love vodka.
It makes the world go round.
I know.
Nice drink.
It keeps you a little bit sane.
So, this book of yours...
Yes.
Lies That Chelsea Handler Told Me. This is the first paragraph written by Johnny Kansas. Chelsea Handler is a menace. Working for her is very much like working for a highly functioning, oversexed, drunken chimpanzee. Just when you think you're part of the family and it's all fun and games, she turns on you and bites off your fingers, nose, and genitals.
Wow.
Any of that planned for me this evening?
No, I won't touch your genitals, I promise. I'm not that kind of guest. I haven't read that yet, so that sounds pretty intense.
What's the first paragraph of your best-selling book? You haven't read it?
Well, no, I've read it.
Obviously you haven't.
I did. It just sounds much more,
Would you want to read
much more venomous coming from you.
Let's read on if you haven't read it. As with any volatile primate, you can never tell when she'll attack. But years of experience and close observation, I've concluded she is most dangerous when she's bored or has a little free time and is looking to entertain herself. And that is key to you, I think. You have a very low attention span.
I do.
You get bored very quickly.
I've fallen asleep twice since I sat down. I do. I need constant...
Have a drink. At least have a drink.
I need constant stimulation. It's true.
You do, don't you?
It's for my own amusement to just screw with people. I think I get a lot of joy out of that. And
well, I hit my BlackBerry because I'm told you're an absolute fiend.
I know, I am. I can't believe you know this about me. How do you know
Why
that?
don't you grab people's BlackBerries and you just send appalling stuff to all their contacts?
Well, that's funny. I mean...
Is it funny?
It is, yes, to me. I mean...
What kind of stuff do you do? What do you write?
Well, like I'll send out, emails from people on staff to their friends and family talking about just the harmless, they're not that original, these ideas, just about coming out of the closet to their family or to their wives. I mean, obviously their wives know that it's me. People have, now in my office, they know that if you get an email, that's ridiculous. I like to arrange play dates between people at work that would never normally mingle. So somebody who's married with 3 kids, I like to send an email from somebody else in a different department that's single and looking, and who's approaching her like they're going to go out on a date, and really inappropriate things.
The thing about you is you're absolutely ferociously fast texter.
I am.
You're like lightning.
Well, if you were sending out random emails from people's desks in a quick pace, then you would be fast too. You have to do it before that person gets back to their desk. You have to say, I've never been more wildly attracted to you in my life. I want to see you with your pants around your ankles. Please meet me in the kitchen.
Here's my theory about it. You're the youngest of 6 children. So you're just a typical youngest child attention seeker.
You could say that.
They're always the same.
Well, I mean, obviously I like attention. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. So it would be fraudulent to pretend that I don't like attention. Do I need an extraordinary amount of it? Now that I've gotten a little bit satiated, I'm pretty good. So now that once you get a little attention, you realize what it's like. I feel like you think, okay, this is a little bit much, but then you want to kind of deliver, you know, comedy and what I consider to be comedy, which I'm sure many people don't, but they're not really my problem.
One interesting aspect I thought to your character, well, you talked about the low attention span and everything else and the attention seeking, but you linked a lot of the attention seeking to what was actually a very tragic episode in your life when your brother died, and he was, I think you were about 9 or 10 years old, and he died trail biking or something. And
he was mountain climbing.
Right. And you said after that you felt quite sort of remote from your family, that everything was focused on this terrible thing that had happened.
Yeah, well, definitely. I mean, you know, being the youngest of 6 children, you get a ton of attention, and then all of a sudden he was removed from the family and everybody's focus was on that, and I was 10, so I just was like, wait a second, where is everybody, you know? And people don't really deal with children who deal with death. It's kind of hard. My father was, you know, a disaster, rightfully so, my mother, and so everybody's kind of in their own world, so nobody really dealt with me, and I didn't, you know, and this is how I dealt with it. So,
how did you feel affected by your brother's death, though? Put aside the fact that you weren't getting any attention after that had a weird effect on you, but do you think it was more than that? Do you think the fact that you lost an older brother was a really big thing in your life?
Well, I would hope so. I mean,
it damaged you, do you think?
Yes. I mean, everything is damaging. I mean, you know, you lost your father, I know, but yes, of course, it's very damaging. I think the initial reaction is, you can't believe that this is happening to your family. We had 6 kids, we had this perfect family. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but in my mind, it was whole. And we have 6 kids, we have a dog, we have a mother, and we have a father, and then it goes to 5. And all I could think in that number was, it's not 6 anymore, it's 5. And it screws you up, you know, for a long time, but it's also a huge gift in many ways because our family's so close, and our brothers and sisters, you know, my brothers and sisters are very, very close. And we've always been that way because of that tragedy.
Do all successful stand-up comics, because a lot of the ones I've interviewed have this trait, have they all had slightly traumatic upbringings? Does it add an edge? Does it make you go and seek out an audience looking for some sort of approval?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a huge pattern of that, especially male comics. You know, but female comics, it's the same. It's a little bit of a different beast, I think. But yes, absolutely. A lot of people that are performers have had somebody pass away when they're younger. So I think that does, you know, that makes you kind of, you know, a lot of huge celebrities have had that happen. So
I think still do much stand-up.
Yes, I do.
The time in this ridiculous schedule of yours.
When I'm not being interrupted by you, I do. Yes, I do stand up all the time. Obviously, I mean, I love stand up. That's how I started. So I like to be able to just kind of, you know, you want to see your fans. I'm very appreciative that I have a career and that I have fans and that I have success. So I like to try and show up for people.
Do you remember dying on your backside?
Yes. Yes.
What is that like for a stand-up?
The worst feeling in the entire universe is to bomb. I bombed in front of executives of studios. I mean, when I was 25, I did the Montreal Comedy Festival, and I tanked it. And every important person in Hollywood was in that room, and I ate it. And it was one of the worst. Honestly, if I have to say the worst day of my life next to the day that my brother or my mother passed away, it would be that night at the Montreal Comedy Festival.
Well, I had it once. I used to do a lot of speaking. And I made a speech.
It's happening to you right now.
Yeah, it's just dying horribly. We both are. It's a cataclysmic hell.
Don't count me in with you.
Listen, we're both being stuck down here.
I'm fine.
I'll be back on tomorrow night.
So will I.
I don't think so. Not on prime time.
Not on prime time. You're right. I don't ever want to be on prime time.
Could you handle it?
No, I don't think prime time could handle me.
Particular pressure when you air in 200 countries.
Yeah. Oh.
It needs to be a certain type of
okay. Well, let me try and see what I can glean from that.
Now, when we come back after a little break here, I want to read out what you said to Katie Couric in her book about life experience.
Okay.
Ask you about that.